We are here today to talk about the pressures that young men face.
Yes, there are many.
There are lots, right? And one in particular area we're going to talk about is what it's like to be raised by a single mother.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited because one of the young men that we have is my son Trey. And we also have Isaiah here as well. So thank you both for joining us today.
Yes.
We're so excited that you were able to come out and talk with us and be willing to talk to us, because I don't know that a lot of young people would be so willing to, share kind of their stories with us. So
we're very grateful.
Very grateful. And I know, just in life, right, there's always so much pressure, I think, for everyone, but I think young men in particular. Maybe, some of the, I was just going to say the struggles maybe are the expectations of society or what you put on yourself to be strong, successful, and not be emotional,
right.
which is really, as Kim and I have dove into some of our inner work, you're like, everybody's emotional. It's okay to be emotional and vulnerable, right?
But men get called soft. They get called soft.
Soft. And I think that's terrible.
Yeah, but I think, one of the things is for young people that young men, I think this generation, hopefully, is becoming more evolved through time. And so we want to know, what are your thoughts on that about, this whole alpha, beta, male situation and, men being soft? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Isaiah?
Well, first and foremost, appreciate y'all for having me.
Yes, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So,
yes.
For those of y'all watching that may not know, I'm going to look at them. But anyway, my name is Isaiah. I'm from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I played basketball for a good chunk of my life. I just finished, but I'm 25 now. So I did grow up as a single mom. That's what this episode's about. So that's a little bit about me. I'll let Trey introduce himself, and then we can.
Yeah, I'm Trey. I'm Shannon's son. I also play basketball. I still currently play basketball. I'm in my senior year at Geneva College. Also was raised by a single mother. Grew up in Rocky Mount, but call Apex home, Apex, North Carolina. So, yeah.
So why don't we kind of rewind? You just do a reverse, and let's start with the single mom. Y'all brought it up, so let's start with that.
Yeah. So I think that most women, I'll speak for me, you didn't set out in your life to say, I'm going to be a single mom, right? I think I would probably speak for most people, I would say. I'm sure there's some that choose it,
but
I would say most people. And then when you're thrown in that situation, you do what you got to do, right? You just do it. But there's always, the other side. What was it like to be raised by a single mom? Yeah. What did y'all think?
I'm gonna start by saying I know my dad. All right, I know my dad. There's a lot of people out there that probably don't know that. I do know my dad. He just wasn't there. So being raised by a mom, I mean, it's typical. A mom is gonna be loving, caring, more caring. It kind of depends on the mom as well. Some moms may be more disciplined than others and have the. For mom, I feel like it's hard for y'all to discipline y'all child or son. We can say son to be exact because that's your little baby. So in your and most moms' eyes, they can't do no wrong, but some do be wrong.
Yeah, the whole baby boy syndrome.
Yes.
So, but for me, it was tough at some points just because figuring out how to be a man. My mom always just tell me as a kid, I could teach you how to be a good person, but I could never teach you how to be a man. And I never understood it until probably I'm 25. I didn't understand it until like 21 or 22. But yeah, she used to always tell me that. So it was unique. It did give me an insight to emotional intelligence, as you would say. Mm-hmm. It does take you have emotional intelligence, but for me, my experience, it takes time to really be able to apply it. You're more keen to or open to emotions because I had a mom and also two sisters in the household. So I was familiar with an emotional, household, but being able to apply the intelligence that or the knowledge that I took in, it took a while, but I could keep going out there. I'll let you keep going out there.
No, that's great.
No, that's great.
So I'd say growing up with a single mother, my dad also was in my life. My parents got divorced when I was around 7. And then he moved around when I was 8. So I've been with my mom for the majority of life. To piggyback off that, I'd say the majority of things that I've learned is how to be emotionally intelligent also. Can kind of apply my emotions to more situations than if it were to have been raised by both, I'd say, because the typical dad isn't probably going to be as emotionally giving and caring towards their kid. That's more the mom's job, I would say, traditionally. But I feel like I've learned for when I have kids in the future that to be there emotionally a little bit more than maybe the stereotypical dad would be. And just kind of make sure that my kid knows that I love them, and which a lot of dads might not show it in ways that kids might need. And yeah, I think the emotional aspect's big for that, because you don't get the dads being like hard on you and this that. Moms can be hard on you too, just in their own ways.
For sure.
But I feel like dads are a lot more stern with how they are, and they don't think of it as through emotions. They're more in the moment and just it's kind of just is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. I think the emotional aspect plays a big part in being raised by a single mother.
Okay, well, that's great. And then you guys both are basketball players.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things that in my life, when I first became a single mom, I met with a preacher, and he talked about always try to have good, positive role models that are men in your child's life. And I know you both had great, I'm sure, good coaches and bad coaches. Do you feel like maybe your coaches not took their place, but
Absolutely.
you got to see those coaches, those men, as great role models that you might implement some of that stuff into your own life today?
Absolutely. I'll start by saying, to go back, I feel like growing up with a single mom, for me, I had to figure out how to be a man. What ties into that point of having a role model or role models to pick and choose what to take from or take characteristics from. So I did have that. I wouldn't say it was one of my coaches. If you are my coach and you watching, you didn't do a good job. I didn't have too many coaches. The ones I did have, they weren't that great. But we still won. So maybe I just was emotional or whatever. But one thing as a man that sometimes you do meet a lot of people where it's like, that's a good, from my understanding of a male, that's a good characteristic that he do, or I like, what I'm saying? Everybody likes that person. What do they do? So you take characteristics, but at the same time, it's a lot of men out here where you look at and you like, I don't want to be like him, or I don't want to be like them, or you think like that, like you 46, bro, like that's how you think. So
I love it.
It's good and bad. You have some things you can take, and you also have, I don't want to be like that. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. What about you, Trey? Do you have any?
Kind of similar story too. Like basketball coaches, like team coaches, I'd say no one really that stood out to me. But my trainer, who I've been with for almost 10 years now, he has instilled in a lot of things. He's helped me grow as a Christian and kind of live life through God in a way.
Yeah.
And kind of showed me how to be a Christian man, not just a man, if that makes sense. Kind of not being forced to, like, making sure it's okay to be a single mother household. And just because your dad isn't always there doesn't mean you're like faulted by any means. And I think a lot of people in today's society don't really live through Christ as much as we all should. I mean, all of us are probably not as good as we can be, but I think he taught me a lot of Christian values, and living through those kind of builds you up. And if you don't really learn a lot from being a man, that's the ultimate man, is Jesus. So, I mean, if you can learn from that, I mean, even just a little bit, I think that's better than any father the world can offer.
Amen.
Wow.
Hallelujah. We went to church.
I was going to say, I'm learning about my own child. That's so great, Trey. And his coach, his trainer has, even for me, as just bringing him to practices and trainings, he's always been very, very supportive of me too. But I definitely have seen a positive.
Yeah.
I mean, he's, impacted so many kids throughout the area, but yeah. Oh, that's sweet, Trey. I'm learning
I
something
know
about
you're
my
getting
child.
emotional. I can tell you're
I'm just like,
Shannon.
no,
You're
it's
fighting
good because, you know, we talked in our previous episode about, you
Yeah.
know, right, you know, always that sometimes we take someone's bad, like what's, you know, and run with it, but like to be able to hear him
saying that.
both of you, and you're like, amen.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably, just like we talk about a lot, there's always more good than bad, right?
Yeah, and what I'm thinking as I listen to both of them is just the level of introspection and insight in these young men. I think that's phenomenal, and I'm just excited by that. And I would like, you know, my background's in mental health and behavioral health, and I'm just really curious about because I love the conversation about men having kind of this softer side and society saying, yeah, you can't do that. Like that's not, you know, an admirable trait in a man. And what are your thoughts on that about society defining who men should be when it comes to when you are emotionally intelligent men?
I'll start by saying there is some soft men out there.
When you say soft, if I can, how would you as a man describe soft?
I worked at a shipyard, Newport News shipyard, for about 4 years. It is some soft men in there. In those 4 years, it's a predominantly male workforce. I'm probably speaking to people that's been there for 40, 50 years. So, and then as an apprentice, you move throughout the shipyard. So, you know, I may meet someone over here that different background. So in that time, I did build tough skin, just one, learning to work with my hands, and then also dealing with older people. And older men do talk a little bit more differently. So going through that experience, you know, it did show me that some people just have soft skin to the point where they can't have a conversation. Some people don't, you know, how you respond to, I'll say verbal, let's say verbal manipulation or something like that, or insult. How you respond to an insult is just, to me, that determines your level of, I want to say knowing about yourself. You know, just how you respond to certain stuff just determines what type of person you are or what type of man you are.
You mean like having a control of your emotions?
Yeah,
or being sensitive, like you can't take it.
Yeah. So I feel like some people are too sensitive to where, like, for example, if you say something about me, Miss Kim, I know myself. I've been on myself for 25 years. So if you say something that's true, you got me. It's true. Ha, ha, ha. Or if it made me mad, I'm mad now. Cool. If you say something that's not true, I should not get offended or whatever because, hey, you don't know me. But let me tell you about me. Or you don't want to listen to about me. You don't want to learn nothing. So it's cool. Have your opinion. Like he said, I'm good in God's eyes. I'm a Christian man as well. So I pray to God, as long as I'm trying to be better for God, it don't really matter what you say. So I feel like some people are soft, but as far as,
do you think there's a balance?
I don't think it. I feel like some people just are soft. So
okay. So do you feel like the traditional alpha male can have soft characteristics, or do you feel like that's not wanted?
I don't like the alpha beta male conversation. It's weird. Each man is different. What drives that man is what drives that man. So I could be, I could be a New York Yankees man, right? That's what drives me every day. So anything related to that is going to drive me. He might be a basketball, or Trey's a basketball guy. You know what I mean? So I might go to Trey, hey, New York Yankees, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. You know, LeBron is the best person. You know, it's no...
You don't like labels. You're not a label person.
I'm not. So, you know what I'm saying? Just one depends on what drives that person to give that certain response. So, you know, for me, I ultimately, when I meet a person, whether it's male or female, what are your goals? What do you like to do? Because that's how I understand why you do what you do.
Yeah.
So once you know somebody goes, you know what they do. So I don't like that alpha beta male because it just depends on that person. And once again, some people are soft, some people are not. So,
but we talk a lot about on our show too, like where we've not talked from a young perspective, but you know, where a lot of men have a hard time opening up, like in a relationship, right, with a female. So like not being vulnerable. So when you from that perspective,
got you.
How do you feel? Because I know there's a lot of men, you know, that are afraid. They're afraid to be vulnerable, to take that mask off, even if it's that person they love. I know it's scary, but
I'm gonna let
Did she
Trey
get you
talk.
on that one?
Nah, she did. I'm gonna
I
let
let
Trey
Trey
talk.
talk. But in
and
that
then
piece,
I'm gonna come back with
yeah,
that.
but in that
I'll
piece,
come back
that
with
side,
'cause
you
we
know,
might-
not
we-
day to day life, but in that side, how, you know, because that actually can strengthen your relationship.
Yeah.
We
in
might.
that.
We might.
There
in
might
for
be
a while,
women
so.
looking for that emotional.
Well, I think
sensitivity.
I have to say the
vulnerability.
majority of women are. And then when you feed into that, then the man gets what he wants because she's then feeling full, right?
She's in her on her feminine
in
side.
her feminine, yeah. So I don't know.
Well, I guess I'll say from the original point that I think a lot of people, as I see in the younger groups, because I work at a camp, there's a lot of soft kids. Just like a kid will here's an example, take their ball and they'll cry. You took my ball. I'm like,
But how old
"What
are
did-"
these kids?
They're young, but at the same time, it's like, okay, did you ask them for it back?
And then,
No.
not to cut you off, if you don't deal, you said how old they were. If you don't deal with it at 5, 6,
Well,
7,
that's
it's
the
just
truth.
it's gonna grow.
It's gonna be
stay,
worse.
it's
That's
gonna get
true.
worse.
No,
And
that's
I think a
true.
lot of people can't take a joke nowadays, in society in general. Like I think society as a whole is quote unquote soft. Like you see, you see people making jokes online, and people are super offended. It's like they did not mean it that way. Like
It's a joke.
Like I was listening to something the other day, and a guy made a joke about LeBron James was so good that I swear he was on steroids. This guy played in the NBA at that time, and people were like saying, he's like, why would you say that about him? Blah blah blah. He was saying he was that good that he had to have been. He wasn't saying he was on it, but people just don't know how to understand.
Take it out of context.
They take it out of context.
Yeah.
They don't understand how like jokes anymore. People take things so serious, and it's just like
I love that. Society is soft now.
they are. It's sad.
Yes.
It's annoying to be
Love
honest. People just complain about anything. It's like why?
Everything but them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
everything but
you ever
looking
thought
at
that you ever
yourself.
thought that you're the problem? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's just I don't know. But can you repeat?
I was just saying
Come back
from
to the relationship.
Yeah,
but I
don't
was
go to
just
the
saying from like
relationship
a
part, yeah.
relationship perspective, like not like, you know, like with a girlfriend or whatever, like that. Do you feel a different, like it's okay to be a little
Vulnerable.
soft, vulnerable in that relationship because that kind of feeds it in a positive way. When as if you're not, right, it's going to be a negative.
I think that it is I think in a way you do have to be a little soft. Not soft in a bad, not soft in like
No, it doesn't.
Let's take out the soft.
yeah, soft sounds
Vulnerable.
vulnerable. Yeah, because soft sounds a little weak. To be honest.
But vulnerable.
But I think it's in a relationship, it's good to be vulnerable in certain aspects. But as a man, I think if we're looking at just solely off Christian principles, you are the head of your house, so you do need to be strong-minded and willed.
No woman wants a soft man.
Yeah,
No.
you can be vulnerable and like opening up about like things that are going on, but you can't be soft in the way that you're going to complain about everything. Like sometimes you just have to put your head down and work. Like I learned that through basketball, that like you're not going to complain to your coach every time something doesn't go your way. Like you got to face adversity. Like I think a lot of people in today are trying to escape adversity, but that's not realistic. Like you're going to go through trials and tribulations, but it's how you attack them and are better after them than it is when you don't just fall, you don't collapse. That's weak and that's soft, but you tackle them and go through them and be better for it.
Almost come out stronger.
You
the
come
other
out stronger
side.
than you're supposed to, than you
Yeah.
should. Like you don't lay down like you said, no woman wants a man who's just gonna lay down at
No.
like that. Like if you're married and you have a problem, you're not just gonna lay down and not do anything about it. Like you know what I mean? Like you
Man
shouldn't.
No,
Yeah, you gotta man
I was
up.
gonna say, but you're not gonna be.
Just
You're not.
kidding.
I was gonna say you're not gonna be married too long. If
That's
you
what I'm
do
saying.
that.
Like you can't. You gotta fight
kind of
for something.
face it and conquer it.
Yeah,
You know.
like you can't-
And I've seen that with
yeah.
you even just this summer being home. Like you broke your foot. Like, and I'm sure it affected you emotionally and all
is
that.
what
I
it is,
mean,
though. You gotta-
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you've done and come home. It was like he was like, I got to get my food right. I got to get my training and. He was released to walk. And then, you know, I've seen it. And, you know, I'm hopeful that basketball will be great this fall for you because you're going back in shape and ready to go. But it wasn't always easy.
Yeah.
No, it's not always easy, but everything happens for a reason. You just gotta
100%.
figure out what the reason is, and whatever it is, you're gonna come out better afterwards.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. Sometimes you might not even know really what the reason is.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it just pop up. You're like, oh, that makes sense.
That was the reason.
Yeah.
100%.
That's true.
So what do you think about, the whole, a while back ago, it was a trending thing with girls saying, they didn't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. So if you're looking at things like from the whole protector, head of household type of mentality for men, and that's a wonderful thing. But if you think about that in today's society, the pressures that are on men in terms of financial success and the ability to provide. What do you think about that conversation?
I think that, like we said, society is different now. I feel like we talk about relationship stuff all the time. When people say they want love and they want this and that people don't know they want. You know what I mean? And it's young people looking for love. It's older people. People don't know what they want because, one, they're lost. So I find it difficult for you to go to another person and say, hey, let's meet for a common, because ultimately that's what a relationship is. I'm going to go, in my eyes, I'm going to go, you're going to go, let's see how we can make things work to better each other to get to that goal. So I don't think people are taking the time to say, hey, what are you after? Oh, well, I'm after this. What are you after? It's not really, people not really understanding each other. So when we get to, if I want to go to the Cheesecake Factory, when we get to that conversation.
Now it's a first date.
You know what I mean?
What are you thinking?
So, first of all, first date, how did you make it to Cheesecake Factory?
Well,
Like,
not to interrupt you, but some of these girls, what Kim was talking about, they were like, Cheesecake Factory was a bad thing.
Yeah.
I like the
It's
Cheesecake
expensive.
Factory.
Yeah.
You have to work. You got to work your way to cheat for. You got to work your way. To
Right.
So you're more the coffee dates.
I'm more of a let's get to know each other. So
Maybe go for a walk. It doesn't even have to
You
cost.
know what I mean? Or if we,
Go get
like
an
I
ice cream
said,
cone.
dating to me depends on the goals you're after. So we have to common goal. Hey, let's do something that's interesting in that goal, or let's go do something to aid in that. So if, let's say our goal is I'm a fitness person. The person I'm dating is a fitness person. Let's go hiking. Let's go to the gym. Let's thrive in our element. Let's do something together. So a Cheesecake Factory, if you're having a problem with somebody say, let me take you to Cheesecake, you don't even like that person. You know
They're so focused because it's not taking me to $100.
Right.
I feel like as a man, if you really like somebody, I could take you to the park and you're gonna be like,
I like
this person. We're vibing right now. I'm with them, so let's enjoy. So people just don't like each other when it comes to that.
You know what? I like that because I was with my son and then my nephew, who's the same age as my niece, who's 20 and a half. And I asked her from a girl's perspective, and she said that she felt like girls were too caught up in all that fancy stuff and what can I get from the guy and not
Transactional.
Yeah, and not who they are as a person. And I
Transactional.
saw growth in her from, I feel like she's growing up because she's like, look, take me to Starbucks and go get a cup of coffee. Like kind of to your point, it's all more about the substance and not so much, but these girls, I say these girls, this group, there are people who that wouldn't be good enough because you're not spending enough money on them. And she was like, it's just wrong.
Yeah. What do you think, Trey?
Personally, I considered Cheesecake Factory as a going out with mom dinner, so I don't have to pay for it. So that it's. I'm also in college, so I'm kind of broke. But I think it is a nicer restaurant. I mean, people. People like going there. You can get their bunch of food options. I mean, I know that's not the point of it,
But it's not cheap.
But like, it's not inexpensive. Like, it's pretty.
Right.
You're gonna spend a decent amount of money, especially as a first date. I mean, I feel like a lot of in this culture also there's not really a lot of first dates. At least at my age, you don't really like. You more like hang out in a group setting and meet them first, and then you go branch off after. But you don't necessarily like go on a date. I feel like I haven't been at that point in my life. There's not really like a thing unless you're dating. You will go out to eat and this and that. But I don't know. I just don't think we're in the culture. At least at my age, is not really a lot of going out to dates, like on dates, like especially first time meeting. It's more let's hang out and like in a group and then go to a bar or something like that, the kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if a girl had an issue,
Would you buy her a drink at the bar?
But
Would you
but-
feel responsibility?
right?
for
But
that?
I was even thinking the Cheesecake Factory. You're gonna takes them out and she has an attitude,
Cut
are you more like, I don't think we're gonna go out?
Yeah, I'd rather not spend any money.
Because she wouldn't do.
I'd rather pick up Chick-fil-A for myself on the way to go hanging out. Like I'm gonna eat before we go. Like,
Yes.
Like, oh, and to your question or statement about if you go out to a bar and buy drinks, I mean, I would just say pregame a little bit, so you don't buy as many drinks.
That's right.
So I'm on a budget too. I really have enough money for myself.
That's what I'm saying. And that goes back to the point. If a woman likes you, Trey, and she doesn't understand that, then hey, because what you said is smart. Let's save money. The position I'm in, let's save money. Let's stand and drink, and then we could go out and have fun. If they don't understand it, then it's not meant.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you guys are so young thinking like that. Yeah, just like in this big hookup culture, it seems. You know.
Yeah, no, it's very refreshing to listen to y'all. I think you're going to give so much inspiration to all the young women out there and to moms and dads, and knowing that, you know, there's a lot of talk about young people and what their characteristics are. And I think y'all are showing a fabulous example of what young men are facing and how you are.
Absolutely. And I think, surrounding yourselves with good people, right?
Definitely.
Be selective of the
You're
people.
a product of who you surround yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah. What do they say? The top 5 people you spend your time with, that's kind of who you are, right? So be careful and it sounds like you guys surround yourself with positive and good people, you know, that are speaking into your life, not taken from your life, you know? Because the goals. I was just going to say lots of goals. I know. Sounds like Isaiah. I mean, he's a couple years ahead of Trey in age. So, you know, it sounds like just some of the things, just saving money and being focused. And you just got a promotion, which is super exciting. I mean, you know what I mean? That's great. There's people that aren't that focused at your age. So that's really awesome. Yeah.
And so going back to kind of, you know, talking about, you know, people pouring into you, what advice would you give a younger version of yourself when you're in high school? Like, what does it mean to be a man? What should you be thinking when you're younger? What advice would you give to yourself?
As a man, that's real important. You know, having that relationship with God for sure, you know, because that aligns with having that purpose, you know, and God's adds to that. So be yourself. You know, a lot of times in society, you're peer pressured and it seems small, like even if it's just, you know, a fake laugh or something, that's still peer pressure. So be yourself. No matter what, you know, even if it doesn't fit in at the moment, stay your path, stay your course. And that's pretty much save your money, man. You got to save that money. So as a man, if you broke, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, yeah.
That's good.
I'd say for me, I feel like when I was younger, I tried to make everybody happy. I guess I found joy in myself by trying to go do all these things with a bunch, overschedule myself. And I would just probably tell myself it's not that serious. Like if those people are meant to be in your life, then they'll be in it when you have time too. Like, you know, I mean, I wasn't necessarily pressured to do that. I probably pressured myself more just because I wanted to do everything. But
do you think it's more about putting yourself as a priority?
Probably, yeah. I would say probably prioritize myself instead of
and not people pleasing.
Yeah, not people. Yeah, yeah. I would say prioritize yourself first. I think I'm learning that as I'm getting closer to being old. But
how about done with school?
Adulting.
Yeah. I'd say I'm learning that now as I'm getting closer to that.
Well,
time in life.
If you learn that now, you're doing a lot better than a lot of people.
I mean, I was just learning it
we just learned about people pleasing.
We just learned.
We've been doing it for a long time.
I know, and we've often said that the work that we've done, we hope we've seen in our own children, things that you guys are overcoming or not doing so much earlier. 20-something years later, we're figuring it out. You guys are going to be so much more filled with life because you're putting yourself first, and you see that you've got to take care of you first. Save your money, like you said. All those things.
You're figuring it out in your 20s. We were figuring that out in our late 40s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's 20 years. I mean, you guys are going to be, which is a blessing for both of you, you know? That's awesome. That is so awesome. Well,
this has been great.
This has been great. Thank you guys for being
thank
you.
vulnerable and not
Appreciate y'all.
right.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and Sharon, and good luck, on your new job and your senior year of high school, Lord, college, your senior year. I know
Told
it's
you,
like
I
it
told
just
you, always baby boy.
Yes,
always baby boy. I love it, Isaiah. But you know
Always
what? It's true though, right? They always say like a son is like the mother's a son's first love, and a father is a daughter's first love. Like it's kind of.
My mom was just talking about this with my brother.
I think it's true. I think it's true. I think it is. I mean, I
is.
definitely think it's true. And then, but good luck to both of you. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective and letting us know that, look, I bet a lot more young men are the same than different, but you just hear about the others.
You don't hear like young men like y'all.
No, you don't, because society, we love following all that other stuff, but it's definitely
it's kind of like we talked about in our other episode, the focus on the negativity versus the positivity.
And this is so positive, and I'm looking forward. We'll have to do in the year or so do a follow up with you guys to see where you are and see what this upcoming year has for both of you. But thank you so very much. And
Thank you.
And with that, Kim, we're done. We're done with our second episode of our new season. And we hope you continue to support us. And, we're getting lots of comments on our TikTok.
Yeah, so comment, let us know what you think.
That's right. We'll take it all. But we appreciate all the support that we've been given so far when we started this little pet project on December 18th, 2024.
Not even a year.
I know. So we're excited, and we look forward to seeing you next time.